By the time I'm recording this video, the 2026 Winter Olympic Games in Italy have ended. All the athletes are making arrangements to go home. A good number of them are celebrating Olympic medals, and very few are celebrating gold medals. And we've seen some historic, amazing performances, including from here in the United States, at a time that this country really needs something to smile about, needs something to believe in and aspire to, amidst the darkness that Donald Trump and his minions are giving us. And to help me emphasize that, I'm going to read you an article, excerpts from an article from John Pavlovitz. The U.S. Olympic team is giving us something worth more than gold. It's giving us hope. Now, with all respect to Mr. Pavlovitz, there's a lot that he doesn't say here. So I'll insert some of my feelings into this whole thing while reading his article. Just a few things here or there, especially in the wake of the last day of the Olympic Games. It's just a sport, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it really means nothing. In the grand scheme of things, this is all pretty inconsequential. With every horrible thing happening here at home, what a group of strangers does on a slab of ice or a frozen hillside a few thousand miles away doesn't impact me in the slightest. I know that. So why in the hell am I crying? As I watch Alyssa Liu, the child of a Chinese dissident, radiant and beaming as she made positively superhuman physical feats look simply effortless, I felt a lump growing in my throat, while tears poured down my eyes. Knowing that the perilous and near impossible journey she took to that moment, the expectations that she obliterated, the rigged system that she transcended, and the agency she reclaimed along the way, for those 4 minutes she was on the ice, the world stopped, and I was transfixated on her. With every graceful flourish, every binding cyclone spin, and every explosive, shimmering spiral, I wound myself involuntarily feeling something largely foreign later that I didn't feel in a very long time. I was proud of my country. Not proud as in the cheap patriotism that so many in this country wear like an ill-fitting costume. Not some ceremonial love for the homeland that denies its flaws and its failings, and certainly not the blind cultic adoration that our president and his minions demand. This was a pride in the people who call this place home, and in the people who want to call it home. This is to the pride of the desperate humanity that is renovating our assailed and beggared nation in the small and close places. Throughout these Olympics, I have been reminded that we are a land of stories. Stories like Liu's, a skating progeny who grew so disheartened by unforgiving, dehumanizing system that she walked away at the age of 16, having her joy exhausted and her identity swollen up, to become an Olympic gold medalist years later. Stories like the Texas-born Amber Glenn, the oldest competing U.S. women's singles skater in nearly half a century and the team's first open LGBTQ member, who bowed a crippling depression and an eating disorder to Olympic glory. Stories like Layla Edwards, whose brave, trailblazing journey from Cleveland Heights, Ohio, to be her becoming the first African American woman to win a gold medal in women's hockey alongside the United States in a 2-1 overtime classic over Canada. Stories like the team of young men from across the National Hockey League assembled to become the men's U.S. hockey team, winning the gold medal for the first time in over 46 years by winning an overtime 2-1 classic, mirroring exactly what the women did over Canada. Stories like American free skater Hunter Hess, whose experience at the very pinnacle of his career had to overcome a disgusting and dangerous personal attack by the sitting president of the United States and his mindless, no-go driving acolytes simply for expressing love for his country that refused to co-sign the totality of his ugliness and brutality. These are not just Olympic athletes. These people are not just athletes, skiers and skaters on ice or in the snow or in the air. They are symbols. They do more than just represent us in a global athletic competition once every 4 years. They help us remember that we're still a nation becoming, still unfinished, still with chapters left to write, and that we are among 342 million co-authors. It's easy to dismiss sports as trivial, a frivolous diversion providing a temporary escape from the sprawling horrors of the day, though that in itself is no small achievement. But these Olympic athletes remind us who we are as a nation: diverse, resilient, fearless, imperfect, delightfully joyful in the face of our demons and detractors. We relentlessly battle the monsters both around us and within us. We lift one another when our bodies fail, our spirits falter, and our dreams become undone. We stridently defy those who would keep us trapped in the stunted smallness of prejudice and stereotype. We give what we have in the moment, even if it's less than we wish it were, even if the possibility of victory seems remote. We love our homeland fiercely, but not blindly, so much that we demand its better angels and will not abide its lesser demons. We willingly sacrifice valuable things so that we may protect the priceless, those worth more than gold. So yeah, it's just a bunch of strangers on a slab of ice or a frozen hill, but you better believe it matters. Thank you, Mr. Pavlovich, for that. And I'll add this as well. The belief that has been going on since 2016, the first election of Donald Trump, that you have to love your country, right or wrong, regardless of who's the president, regardless of what he does, especially when what he does is harming Americans, harming innocent people in our name, is nothing but a lie. As former President Theodore Roosevelt once said, patriotism means to stand with the country. It does not mean to stand with the president. These athletes remind us, and more importantly, the MAGA remind us that the best Americans, the most patriotic Americans, we saw on the ice, on those mountains the last couple of weeks. We are not seeing it. We are not seeing that patriotism in our own country. Whether it be a person wearing a MAGA hat, waving the American flag as hard as he can, and especially sitting in the White House right now. The patriots that I saw were the ones on the ice, in the snow. They were the Olympians that I mentioned earlier in this video. The women who won their first gold medal in decades. The men who won the first gold medal in decades, nearly half a century. They're the young women who speak out against intolerance and hatred. They're the young men who stand up and speak out against brutality in our nation. I love my country, and I will do everything I can to protect her and fight for her if given the chance. But I will not stay silent. My country is wrong. And right now, my country is wrong. And the face of that wrong is Donald Trump, his cabinet, and his supporters. And whatever you want to call me, you can call me every name in the book. You can call me every variation of the N-word. But what you are going to call me, what you will call me, and I will demand of this, of everyone, you will call me American. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.